Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And you may have guessed it, folks. That's right, huh? It's time for me to throw my hat into the convention ring. With my 2023 GalaxyCon Columbus report. So, Dragon, you know me. I'm new. You know I'm new to the whole convention going scene, right? Like my first one was last year, and then I went to GalaxyCon Animate earlier this year. But this is my first time going to a convention for basically 3 days straight, and it was quite a ride. So, Dragon, do you have any questions about my personal experiences with these things?
No, just seething envy, but no.
Seething envy.
Seething envy.
Why seething envy?
Because I would love to go to a GalaxyCon, but I have not.
Have I told you who's been recently confirmed for the upcoming anime?
Well, frankly, I don't want to know, but you might as well tell me.
Well, technically it was among the cast of the Ninja Turtles, but Rob Paulson was confirmed recently.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Olsen was recently confirmed as well. You know, Vanessa, and a couple others too. They were recently confirmed for the, and as I mentioned previously, Josh Keaton will be there too.
The boy even gets a Spider-Man.
Yep, heck, I got one Spider-Man. Actually, I got two Spider-Men this year,
Yeah.
and then in 6 months, about 7 months, I'm gonna get another Spider-Man.
Yep.
Technically, Naji's gonna be at Animate as well, so there'll be two Spider-Men there as well. What do you make of that, Dragon?
A lot of celebrities. That's what I make of that.
Yep. We're getting a lot of the good ones. We're getting a lot of good ones. All right. So, Dragon, if you have any questions about my previous Galaxy Cons, feel free to ask, or if anyone in the comments questions for my previous ones, I'll feel free to answer those. But I guess I can give a highlight. Like last year, 2022, was actually kind of more of a spur of the moment thing, as Dragon well knows. But I found the whole thing interesting. And the whole thing interesting. I'm still a bit of a noob.
Was last year your first con?
Yes, last year was my first ever con.
There you go.
2022 GalaxyCon, that was the first one I ever went to. And I had quite a bit of fun going there. Like I still remember who my first stop was. my first stop was actually Monaco Real, as I've told you.
Yeah, Bulma.
Yeah, Bulma. My Bulma!
What have you done to my Bulma?
Yep, I'll talk about him later. She was actually my first stop, and unfortunately I didn't have her sign anything related to Bulma. I had her sign something else.
Boo.
I mean, hey, the thing I had her sign is one of my favorite animes.
All right.
Last year, unfortunately, while I didn't get any Q&As this year, I'll get to that in a bit. I did manage to go to 2 last year. First off, I didn't get in his line. I did go to see Christopher Sabat. I didn't. So and he provided a bit of insight, the history of how he got his job, some of the mishaps that have happened, like trouble recording. A particularly funny story that he told before was when he was recording Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball Z, he was and back then they had to use tape to record and all that. They would play the tape. He would see the character scream. He'd do the scream, But then the scream would cut. He was he'd assumed the scream was over. But then he saw the next scene and saw the scream was still gone. He's like, fuck. So that kind of thing. And he says that digital recordings actually made it a lot easier. And of course, Monica. I got into Monica and Alexis Tipton, Monica Ray and Alexis Tipton's panel on Dragon Ball, where they actually talked about their some of their favorite moments in the Dragon Ball series, like recently stuff that they basically it came about something they improvised. Like, look, Vegeta has friends. They're a big fan of the whole amusement park scene. With Dragon, are you aware of that? Do you know what I'm talking about with that one?
Yes, I'm very yes. It was a continuation of the. There was this gag in Dragon Ball Z where, basically, when Vegeta learned that Trunks could turn Super Saiyan, he made him like, "If you can land a hit on me, I'll take it to the amusement park, or I'll take it to the park." And then essentially, it was upgraded to going to the amusement park. And he basically got so distracted, and then also he died. So he kind of welched on that. So now that he's back and everything, kind of the setting of Dragon Ball Super. There's really a nice, lovely little montage where Vegeta takes Trunks and Bulma to the amusement park.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, they kind of have a day on the town. I think originally he promised them the amusement park, and he's going to have a day on the town.
Yeah. And of course, like they all also talked about one of their favorite moments being the "My Bulma" moment, which we all know.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, due to circumstances that I will explain on my second day, I was not able to attend any Q&As this year. That's why I'm bringing them up now.
You didn't attend any panels this year.
No, it's like not out of choice. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, we'll see how this shapes up.
It's like now that there's a story behind that.
Yeah, there better be.
And it's technically tying into to a tip that you told me before, and something I completely forgot to do. You may figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, I can't guarantee this will be a very, very long podcast, but I'll try and make it as interesting as I can. It's like so.
Well, we have comments.
Yep, it's like, hey, welcome back. I almost calling Jacob Phineas. The accent sounds a lot like Phineas. Dragon, do you see it or hear it?
Well, only when you say yes. Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. All right.
Yep.
Olivia Olson was also Marceline in Adventure Time. That's right. Marceline, the Vampire Queen. She's definitely she's on one of my lists to go see. And do you have a favorite con of the ones that you've been to? Well, it's honestly hard to choose. It's honestly hard to pick so far. I mean, I've been to 3 of them so far. I mean, each one of them has had their highlights, to be sure. I mean, but of all the people that I've met, like probably Animated in July, the one I went to in July, but the fact that I met some of the people here, that also kind of makes it a bit high. So it's honestly hard to choose. One thing for sure is that these games are huge money pits.
They are.
You can relate to that, right? On that one, right, Dragon?
Yes, I can.
I'm fairly certain, especially if you want to get statues and things like that you can't find anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
That and the Hot Toys.
I was mainly just trying to get a new statue for my shelf. I mean, technically, I could have ordered them through Crunchyroll, but they're easier to find. Funny enough, they were easier to find here at the convention.
Well, yes, that's the thing. You can find a whole bunch of stuff at the convention. The problem is because the 3-day kind of factor, they're gonna upcharge you.
Yeah,
A lot.
Oh yeah, that's why I was careful. As I say that, as I'm almost as I'm contemplating, looking at my bank account right now.
Yeah, I made an impulse buy recently, so I'm kind of still feeling that one.
Yeah, if I'm one of my New Year's resolutions is be smarter with my money. All right, but so I show up early the first day because technically by early I mean around noon because around noon because the first day convention didn't technically start until 2. I did manage to get the 3-day not the VIP, but the deluxe pass, but the deluxe, which did fortunately give me like a badge, and stuff to carry, and a folder to carry glossies and things like that. The funny thing is, I actually didn't get very many glossies this time, because considering I actually brought in a bunch of stuff to have signed, some of which you can see in my collage here. But to bore you the boring details on that, it's like I knew exactly who my first stop was going to be. The one and only Bill Farmer.
Gosh.
Gorsh, yes. Funnily enough, he was like like how like when you go to these conventions, they have these like ones against the these people against the wall.
Oh yeah.
For the for the big, for the big people that are going to be there.
The biggies get the wall. I'm well aware of this phenomena, Jacob.
Yep. Bill Farmer did not have one of those.
Ah.
He had like one of those aisle booths. Not a very big one.
Yeah, I presume the way GalaxyCon's laid out is that basically in lieu of usual like convention, like kind of comic writers and artists, you would basically have celebrities in those roles. I guess they're tiered somehow, and in that respect, it'd probably be like I imagine the lines would be even longer. I mean, you already have like overbooked comic talent sometimes, and not overbooked. I just mean like like really popular comic talent that's going to have like lines and lines, and you need like the line holder guys. Basically, at the Comic Con they usually have like a whole bunch of. They're all. Let me ask you this: at the GalaxyCon, do you have an equivalent to the minions? To all the the guys wearing the same color shirt who are most likely volunteers there to kind of lay out what's like when the lines get capped off and who's where and everything.
We did have those volunteers, yes.
Did they all wear the same color shirt?
They all wore blue, yes.
Ah.
It's like I forget exactly what they had. I forget exactly what they were called. But
well, either way, I mean, were they good at their jobs or were they an obstacle?
I mean, they were good at their job mostly. I mean, I didn't have a lot of as you can probably tell by some of these pictures, they didn't actually have little cordons or ropes or anything like that. They had tape on the floor, didn't they go into?
Well, they always have tape on the floor, yeah.
So yeah, it's like mostly what they did was they tried to get people to stay within the lines and things like that, and especially if they were like, I mean, usually if there were like not that many people, they were okay with a single straight line, but if there were a lot of people, they made sure to keep them within the boundaries of the tape. So yeah, we did have the volunteers, or minions as you call them, it seems.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's their actual name, but usually I nickname them based on what color shirt they have that year.
Well, this you can call them the Blueies.
Well, let's say mine were the Blue Meanies, but
well, I guess these can be the Blue Meanies too, but they were actually the Blue Niceys, I guess.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I hesitate on using the Blue Meanies, because they seem to be okay at their job.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were nice. I mean, there's one in particular that I had an issue with, but more for a personal thing rather than him actually being bad at his job. but like I said, I'll get to that along with my other story about why I didn't go to any Q&A.
Anyway, so you bet the farm on Bill. So
yes, it's like he was like fortunately I got there pretty early. I only had a few people in front of me. Like one of them had like a Blu-ray of Goofy movie to sign. Like funny thing was one actually had one of the Goofy movie road maps.
Nice.
It's like I think he was like I don't know if he got. I didn't hear where he got it from because Bill asked him where he got it from, but
Might have been Etsy.
I don't think it was Etsy, but
Etsy does make like the prop replicas, so
it could have been Etsy, but I think it had an official Disney sticker on the back. I'm not entirely sure on that.
It's possible,
but yeah, it's like, but personally, I had Bill sign my Goofy mug, as you can see over on the right hand side here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I had him sign that, and he actually thought it was pretty cool. Like it's like he said he's never seen one of those, and I got it from the park. He said he had a lot of fun doing that ride though. It's like I got it from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. and in that ride, Goofy is like basically conducts the train that basically goes haywire. So yeah.
Did you mention the scene to him? Did you mention that scene I told you from Goofy Movie?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, I had a feeling. It's okay.
I mean, I wish I could, but I was like, Dragon, like those, like, as I mentioned before, probably I mentioned off air, like like when you go up to meet one of these people, and you're just like like one of these celebrities or voice actors, and they do the voice, and you just like feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly how I felt meeting Goofy, like meeting Bill. He's like one of my heroes. It's like I met Goofy. It's like
Yep.
I was just like in awe of being in front of him, just being able to meet the guy, shake his hand, tell him how much his work meant to me, that kind of thing.
Like every 5-year-old that goes to Disney for the first time, they see that dog walk up to them, they lose it. They go nuts for the goof.
It's like, well, the first time I went to Disney World, I cried at every mascot that I went up to.
Tears of joy or tears of utter terror at the giant live action versions of your beloved cartoon favorites?
Terror.
I had a feeling. Okay.
To be fair, I was only like 5, but probably not even 5 years old.
Why is the dog wearing pants?
Yeah,
and a hat?
Essentially, yeah, that probably was close to being it.
He's gonna eat me. Look how big his mouth is. He's like a shark, but a dog. Oh, God.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like that's why unfortunately that hot tub scene from Goofy Movie didn't really cross my mind because I was too in awe. I was too basically in awe.
You were too in awe to say, "Oh man, let's talk about that."
Yes. I'm sure he's probably heard a lot of people talk about that already too. So
I don't know. That one seems a little specific. I don't think a lot of people brought up that one scene to him.
I know, and I even mentioned to one of the people. There's like, I wish I brought my Goofy Movie VHS.
Yep.
But I did get him to sign a kind of unique thing. So, like I said, plus I got to, but basically I got my highlight out of the way pretty much right off the bat on my first day. So, all right. Actually, and next up, Dragon was actually someone was right next door to Bill. Najee Jeter. You know who I'm talking. You know who that is, right, Dragon?
I'll tell the folks.
Like, he's been in a couple things. Like he was in the Last of Us video game. But the thing that we're here to talk about is he's the voice of Miles Morales in the Insomniac games.
There we go. Yeah.
And also the Spider-Man cartoon that came out like a couple of years ago. And that's where he got to voice Spider-Man voice Miles in this game actually. So. But that's the most important thing here. I got to meet one of the Spider-Men. So Dragon? I got to meet him, and then right afterwards, I got to go see Yuri Lowenthal. The Peter Parker. What do you make of that?
2 Spider-Men for the price of 1. Well, sadly, not the price of 1, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like 2 Spider-Men for the price of 2.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have not played the new game yet, but you have played, the first one in the Miles Morales game. So, yeah, you got to meet you met your first Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how do you feel? Plus, you got Spider-Man and a Miles, not the Spider-Verse Miles, but still, Miles.
Shamik Moore would be pretty cool to meet too, I guess.
Yeah, he would be.
Yep. That or Jake Johnson.
Oh, of course. I mean, that'd be great. I mean, still, I don't think he's ain't Christopher Daniel Barnes, but still.
Yep. And as you can see, it was cool because Yuri Lowenthal's been in a lot of other stuff that I really enjoy. Been a lot of other stuff that I really enjoy too. But of course, the thing that I was like, when I got this game this year was like, and when I knew they were both going to be, I was like, okay, I have to get this game signed by both Spider-Men. It's like, and of course, like, of course, meeting Yuri. The funny thing is, like, I didn't immediately go to Yuri afterwards. It's like I actually met his wife, Tara Platt. I don't know who she is, but she voices Yuri, and funnily enough, she voices Yuri Watanabe in the game.
Yep.
Like, it's like I didn't have her sign this or anything Spider-Man related. I had her sign a copy of Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then I went to Yuri because his line was like, I actually had to like, his line was actually very long too for being one of the people in like one of the aisle booths, and his line actually wrapped around.
Yuri Lowenthal's.
Yes, Yuri Lowenthal's line wrapped around.
Well, you gotta remember, by the time you went to this convention, like the Spider-Man 2 game had come out, right?
I know, but he's also done like again so many other iconic characters.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying there'd be an additional reason for the extended line.
I know, yeah, I know, but the line was already long by the time I got there, and it's like okay, I've got other people, so I might as well.
Speaking of the other roles, Yuri Lowenthal has played Kogias.
Kogias, very appropriate one. Zaku, the English dub of Code Geass.
Mm-hmm.
I had to mention that because he's named after that.
Yeah.
Yep. He's also like done stuff in. I think he's on one of his other famous roles as Sasuke in the Naruto series.
Mm-hmm. That's the big. Honestly, before Spider-Man, that was his definitive role.
Yep, he's done a lot of roles.
Also, he is he's the teenage Ben 10.
Yep, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so like. Funny thing is, I actually got into his line, but then while I was waiting in his line, he actually had to go to a Q&A for Naruto.
Yeah, I warned you on that one.
Yep, but fortunately though, the attendant at his desk actually gave us a slip or a piece of paper with a number on it to let us get into the VIP line. So he didn't have to wait. So he didn't have to wait too long again. So we could leave the line and go elsewhere.
Nice.
Yep. So I went over to a voice actress by the name of Abby Trott, got her autograph and picture before waiting to go back to Yuri's. Eventually, I was able to get over to Yuri, and trust me, it was a pleasure to meet the guy. He was a very nice guy. You can see why they made him Spider-Man. Like he absolutely nails the Peter Parker aspect of it. And I even said his voice acting was amazing. It was a lame pun, but it kind of fits a Spider-Man. Spider-Man's all spectacular, amazing, ultimate, whatever you want to call it.
Would you say compared to Miles, he was the superior Spider-Man?
I don't know. I don't want to play favorites here. I don't want to get they already had enough issues to deal with in Spider-Man 2, so
we can agree on one thing: he's definitely Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Yes, he is. It's like I told him that I even told him that I voted for him in the Game Awards for best vocal performance. Funny enough, the Game Awards is actually going on right now.
Yep. Yeah, I heard Gonzo is one of the presenters.
Yep, he was there. I saw him, and they already did announce who won the best performance. It was someone from Baldur's Gate 3. It wasn't Yuri Lowenthal, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I voted for him, so there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yuri was great. I loved meeting him. He even wrote Thwip on my case.
Nice.
I even told him that Dragon, I can imagine that you. I even told him that I need one more person to sign this thing to make it complete. Can you imagine who I said? Who I said?
Miles.
I already have Miles. Like I have both of them.
Oh. See,
like on the left you can see Yuri Lowenthal's, and on the right you can see Najee Jeter's.
Mm-hmm.
But can you imagine who I have left to sign this thing?
Who?
Tony Todd.
Oh, well.
He's the voice of Venom.
Well, I know he's the voice of Venom. What I mean is, I thought if you're going off the cover, you'd want both Spider-Men. That's what I'm getting at.
I know, but I want him to sign it too.
Well, of course, yeah, sure. I mean, by lodging get everyone to sign the game.
I mean, but basically those were the three ones. I just need
Yep.
him because technically he voiced the symbiote.
See, Tony Todd's actually achievable on my end because he actually comes to the Monster Mania usually. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe he'll. I mean, Yuri even did say Tony Todd gets around, so
He does.
maybe I'll
Tony's got kids to scare.
so maybe I'll be able to see him at an upcoming con.
Hmm.
And of course, I'll get him to sign this.
Yep.
And speaking of Spider-Man, that wasn't the only Spider-Man I saw that day.
Yeah.
I actually saw quite a few cosplays.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, one Captain America Spider-Man.
Hey.
Unfortunately, I don't have a very good picture of it. I took a selfie with him, and unfortunately, I didn't include it here in this picture. Because, I had to make room for the stuff some other stuff. But like, he had the blue mask, he had like a spider, and it had a star coming out of it. He had the shield with the star and spider. It was an awesome cosplay. He was actually with the Scarlet Witch as well.
Hey.
It was like probably the best looking Spider-Man costume there.
Huh.
Oh yeah. Some other cosplay adventures, as you can see. Like, look, I met Wolverine and Logan.
That's really cool.
Yep, they both posed for the same picture. Like, how cool is that? Wolverine and Logan in one picture.
Love it.
Oh yeah. And more and more highlights also include, like, I got to meet another voice acting legend, Richard Horvitz.
Yeah.
It's like, Richard Horvitz. Like, of course, he even likes some of the Zim voice that I do. Like, I mentioned that some friends of mine are part of a fan project, and he even liked the voice of the character that I did. So it's always nice when these people who do this for a living compliment you on your work. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, other things. Let's see. Like, I even mentioned Ned Frischman, Man of Tomorrow, to him. Of all the characters to mention, I mentioned that one.
Oh yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
That is a good one.
It's like, I kind of figured he'd appreciate the more obscure reference.
Well, they always appreciate the obscure reference, Jacob.
And he even did this, Ned Frischman, Man of Tomorrow. It's like he'll love it.
Yeah, for me, I probably would have mentioned, the Daggett from Angry Beavers.
Yeah, that was he had a glossy of Daggett.
Nice.
I got Zim. I hadn't signed a picture of Invader Zim though. It's like other highlights include I visited one voice actress named Elizabeth Maxwell. I'm not sure if you recognize the name there.
I recognize the name, but I'm having trouble placing the voice.
It's like she's done quite a bit for Funimation and Crunchyroll.
Right.
Like, some of her most famous work included Overlord. She's like My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's done quite a few. I can't name any others off the top of my head though right now. And basically, I met, like, let's see, other cosplays I met as you look at the Loki that I met, and I met like the God of Stories Loki from as you can see here.
Yeah, I saw the Funko they put out for him recently of him in the throne. It looks great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't actually seen the Funko, but
yeah.
But yeah, I saw this guy there, and I was like, I loved his costume, so I just had to take a picture of him. It's like, so. It's like, so basically that concludes the first day, and that includes the first day of that.
Wait, that's day one?
Yes.
Wait, so how long is the convention open for on day one?
I mean, the convention was open from 2 to 8.
Yeah, they open late on the first days on my end too. Like usually it's not 2 though. It's usually like 1 to 7.
Well, it's technically the same amount of time, I guess.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it's kind of weird they start like an hour later, but go figure. Anyway,
Yep. So I had
end of day one.
I did get quite a bit done on day one, which is a good thing because day two is an entirely different story.
Jacob, day two is always Saturday is always the hardest day of any convention.
You're telling me, Dragon.
Always, it's the dramatic number, Jacob. It's always the yes.
Oh, just you wait, Dragon, and I actually forgot one of your lessons.
Oh boy.
You can guess what it is.
Well, I already forgot one on day one. I wonder what this next one is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I forgot one.
Well, beware the panel.
It's like, well, I wasn't.
Lowenthal, you went into it and like Lowenthal, you went away to his panel.
Well, I didn't know how. He was going along pretty quickly. I thought I'd get through it by the time the panel was done. And like I said, I was able to come back anyway. I was able to leave the line and come back.
Oh yeah, because you mentioned you were going to do the VIP treatment.
Well, I didn't. Well, I didn't have the VIP. They gave us the VIP treatment for us being in line when he had to leave for the Q&A.
Well, no, I mean, didn't you buy got the bag and everything?
No, I was like, no, I didn't get the VIP. I got the deluxe.
Oh,
and there are different tiers like normal, deluxe, and VIP.
Okay. All right, day two.
I did not get that. I did not get VIP. So day two, I had a game plan. My game plan was to stop by the one and only Peter Cullen. It's like, so I knew exactly where he was. And heck, it was just an adventure getting there first. Like when I took a bus. The funny thing is, the convention center is actually just basically straight down the street from where I live, like a 20 to 30 minute bus ride, depending on traffic. I literally live right down the street from the convention center. So, like, basically a straight shot down. It's at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. And so, like, I board the bus, and because I had to do it early this day because it actually started at 10. So I wanted to get there at a reasonable time. So I left at around like 8. Bus came in around 8:30, so I could get there around 9. The bus actually was due to like a holiday event that was going downtown that wasn't announced. The bus had to be detoured go around the convention. I had to walk an extra about 5 or so minutes just to get to the convention center. So that's the first thing that happened that day.
Yeah.
So then I got in the line because even though you try to show up early, but then you realize there are hundreds of people there that are there earlier than you. You know what I mean with that as well, right, Dragon?
Yeah.
So I got in line. So I got in the line just to enter. Fortunately, the line was so long there's actually multiple doors you could get into. And so I was able to get into a door relatively early. It was in the opposite side of where Peter Cullen actually was. But it was actually in the how they have the celebrities, the comic artists, and the merchandise area. So that was the doors. I had to go through the merchandise area to walk across the entire pavilion to get to the opposite end of the area to get to it. Fortunately, though, I got to Peter Cullen only after a few people. And I got there because the doors opened at 10. So I was in the line shortly afterwards. And so what happened was, turns out he had an experience happening until noon. So I was basically waiting in that line until noon, about 12 o'clock. He didn't come till about 12:15. And so, when he showed up after me waiting for 2 hours, I got out and prepared. I got my thing to sign. He was cash only.
Yeah, you brought cash, right?
I did not bring cash.
Oh, Jacob.
I did. In my defense, though.
In your defense. Oh, sure. Yeah.
in my defense, like last year on like the sites, they announced that this person takes cash only, or they put it on a sign, at the desk. There was no indication at all that Peter Cullen was going to be cash only.
Jacob, they're lazy when they make the signs.
I realize that now, Dragon. I realize that now, so it's like after waiting that long, I had to get out of the line, and the first ATM I find had this huge line. Fortunately, though, I remembered one that was inside the building but outside the pavilion area, and unfortunately that one didn't have a line, so I was able to go to that one. I had to withdraw because I was actually getting 2 autographs. One was a Christmas present, and then unfortunately, I was not able to get back to my spot in line, and by the point he came in, the line was already all the way back halfway through the celebrity area.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked I'd ask if I could, I even told the people there that, you guys didn't even say anything about. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had a bit of a technical difficulty there. Can you hear me?
Well, now I can, yeah. So last I heard, you were talking to, I believe, the Blue Meanies, or was it the person at the table?
No, it was one of the blue guys.
Okay, so you were talking to one of the blue guys, like, hey,
it's
what's with the sign, man?
It's like I told him that obviously he didn't take cash. There was no indication, but he said there's nothing he could do. He couldn't let me cut.
Question.
Yes.
Did any of the other celebrities not do cash?
There are actually a couple others that did cash only.
Wait, did all the celebrities you see there take cash only?
No, majority of them took card.
Okay.
There are only a couple of them that were cash only.
Interesting. Okay.
The thing is, though, so I had to go wait, and I didn't get to Peter Cullen till about 4:00.
And how long is the con open?
8:00.
Uh,
And because of the fact that
he was the first one you did.
Yes.
Oh.
And Saturday was my big convention, was my big Q&A day, as you well know. When I tried to plan that out with you, I didn't want to get back in the line again or wait till tomorrow. So because of the fact that I had, and like I said, he had a Q&A that he was going to as well at noon.
Mm-hmm.
A Q&A going to as well after the line had already moved. So because
you needed a line buddy. That's what you needed.
Fortunately I had people to talk to in the middle of the line, so it wasn't entirely too bad.
No, I mean, you needed, if you had a companion, they could have waited in line for you while you got other things done.
I go to these things by myself.
I know, yes, yeah.
That's the downside, I know.
Yep.
So because of the fact that they didn't sign properly that he was cash only, of course when I got up there, they finally had a sticker that said cash only on, post-it note that said cash only on there.
So did you chew Optimus Prime out?
No, I didn't chew Optimus Prime out. The lady that was helping him actually recognized me and said, "Oh, hey, you're back." After about 6 hours.
Yep.
So, I did get to Optimus Prime, get to Peter Cullen. He was very nice. I wasn't gonna, and as I said to the person I was talking to, was like, honestly, if that's the worst thing that happens to me today, it's fine. I still get to meet Peter Cullen, You know what I mean, Dragon?
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, because of that, I didn't get to go to any of the Q&As or anything that I wanted to go to. Yes, Dragon, I'm a noob, I know.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson the hard way this time. basically carry buckets of cash on you at all times.
Yeah.
Always have cash. I learned that the hard way. All right, Dragon, get it out.
Get what out?
Get out your check. Chastise me. Get it out of your system.
How petty do you think I am?
Dragon, I've known you for about 8 years now.
That's very insulting.
I'm just kidding, but I'm just kidding, Dragon. But
Mm.
you're my stupid microphone cord.
Yeah. But yes, Jacob, you gotta bring cat. I'll tell you, I went to the Monster Mania this year, and I did the research, so I found out who was cash only. I mean, I held out hopes that certain ones that did not have signs were like not were not cash only, but in anticipation of them, I figured just better safe than sorry. I did bring enough cash just in case, but I was holding out hope that the ones that did not advertise cash only. Well, that would be intentional, but the end result was they just didn't. They were too lazy to put it on the sign, so it was a good thing I brought that cash only.
Well, yes, I realize that now, and as I mentioned before, you told me previously, always take cash.
Yep. Take cash, hope for card, bring cash.
Yep, I ignored one of your 10 commandments.
Yeah. Well, it's more like 5 commandments, but yeah.
Okay, I unintentionally ignored one of your 5 Comic-Con commandments.
There you go.
And I paid the price for it.
Yep.
I had quite a few that I wanted to go to as well. Like if you let's see. Thanks, and I wanted to go to the Invader Zim. I wanted to go to the Peter Cullen one, but I wasn't going to step out of line to see Peter Cullen to go to a Q&A form, so I had to wait in line even more. You know what I mean?
It's like, Peter, question in the Q&A, Peter, why did you not have cash only on your sign?
I wouldn't
You're
be
better than that, man. You died for our sins. Why?
Optimus Prime died for our sins.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that petty, Dragon. Speaking of petty, Dragon's not petty except when it comes to hating Bao G when he does anything.
Any Bao G hatred is earned. Okay, it's not for nothing. Okay, that kid, he pushes the boundaries.
It's and of course that means I also missed out on the Daredevil panel that had both Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox in it.
Are you gonna tell me you didn't see either of those guys this year at the con?
I saw them. I didn't actually get up to them. Dragon, I had limited funds, okay?
Yeah, Jacob, yes, there's limited funds, but there's also a thing called budgeting, okay? There's budgeting, and there's also, oh my god, it's the Kingpin, so there's that.
Well, Dragon, I was gonna... Dragon, they were on my maybe list anyway, but...
Yeah.
And I can always... Vincent came last year as well, so I'm banking on the fact that he's also going to come next year as well. And I'll definitely, if he does come next year, he'll be one of my first stops, and you'll be the first to know. Okay?
I would hope so, but you know what? Just this the way the fates are going to go, man. He's going to be too big. He's going to be too busy. He's not going to be able to come to the con. I'll bet you that.
I mean, he came last year, Dragon. So.
Yes, while he had downtime, Jacob. That's my point.
Like I said, Dragon, I budgeted. I went to the people that I definitely wanted to see. He was not on my top priority. He was not on my top list. Trust me, if he comes next year, I'll definitely see him.
This is what I'm saying, folks. I mean, look at all the luck that's raining down on my friend's head, except for Saturday. Here, look at all this bountiful luck. Like he gets to go to a location with both D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox, and he just sees him like Bigfoot.
Yes, Dragon. I'm not too happy about that either.
Just I can't tell you how many conventions I had prayed like, oh god, if D'Onofrio or Charlie Cox showed up or Tom Cavanaugh, like those are my three. Those are my four if you count Greg Delisle. That's my Hall of Fame. Those are the four people who have not graced the convention that seemingly, based on this GalaxyCon, are absolutely achievable. They are an achievable, attainable goal. Why can't my Comic Con get this pool of talent? Why?
I don't know, Dragon. Trust me, I wish I was able to, but I honestly just couldn't afford to see them.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I would have gone to a Q&A and snapped a picture of them, but unfortunately, that just didn't happen because I was waiting in line.
Yeah.
Like, I missed out on all kinds of stuff because of that. So
They were probably in the same room, hanging
Hey.
out, making jokes, talking about the past.
Yeah, I'm sure they were Dragon and for all I know, they probably did put the Q&A on
Talking
there.
about how much they like Spider-Man, being coy about, oh, who knows?
Although one thing I do remember, I was waiting in line for Chris Sabat the next day. And I'll get to that. Like Charlie Cox is actually next to Christopher Sabat. Funnily enough,
This just keeps getting better, you know.
it's like Vincent actually came back. The crowd cheered, but Charlie Cox was like booing him and pointing his thumbs down. So I did get to see that.
All right, at least you got something, I guess. So you were in the proximity of them.
Yep, I was close. I did get close.
You could have thrown a brick at him. You would have caught it. He would have been fine. I'm just saying, you could have thrown a brick at him.
And do you know why you could have caught a dragon?
Because he's a really good lawyer.
Exactly.
First thing they teach you at law school, how to catch a brick.
I mean, funnily enough, I did see a couple Matt Murdock costumes too.
No, oh wait, Oh yeah, the Matt Murdock ones do pop up a lot at conventions. That's good.
Well, they're easy to pull off.
They are.
You just basically need a suit and red glasses.
Yep.
And suit, red glasses, and maybe like a little bit of a beard, and you got Matt Murdock.
Blind Matt Murdock.
Oh yes. It's like, so because of that, I waited so many hours to see Peter Cullen. Fortunately, Peter was a very nice guy. He basically made the wait worth it.
Jacob, I'm going to adopt you now.
Yeah, if only, Dragon, if only. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want to be adopted by Peter Cullen.
Wait, why?
Well, because he's busy, and I'm happy with my current family.
Okay.
Yes, I know it's kind of like something out of the Weird Al stories.
Yep.
It's like I've decided to adopt you. It's like, well, like I just got on good terms with my own family. Trust me, if I had a chance to meet Weird Al, I'd do that too. I would not pass that up, but unfortunately, he didn't come to this. I would have loved it though.
No, it was just normal Joe, no Weird Al.
Yep. It's like I met quite a few other interesting cosplays this day, though. It's like, of course, I got to see like a couple people from another, like My Hero Academia. It's like you see the guy in the bird costume up here.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the characters from My Hero Academia there, and he's like, his name's Tsukuyomi. It's a very very great costume that he pulled off. It's like, and a very interesting story regarding one of my other ones on the opposite side, Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Like, what do you see Juggernaut here?
Well, I mean, oh, I see. Okay. He's it's literally the Deadpool 2 version of Juggernaut in the yellow, right?
Yep, that's him. That's the Go on.
That's very cool. I love that.
Yep. I was waiting in line for someone else when I came across him, but didn't get out of line. But I was able to snap a picture of him because I can't not take a picture of someone dressed like that Juggernaut. But what happened was like there's actually like some loose panels on the ground, and he fell over. he fell over in costume. He actually had to take his giant feet out of the costume in order
The Juggernaut fell.
Yes.
I guess he is unstoppable after all.
Yep. It's like, yeah. Fortunately, the guy inside the costume was okay, and people rushed over to help him. But Juggernaut did fall over. But trust me, usually that's the kind of thing would be funny, but it actually wasn't. It looked like it was very hard for him to get up. I'm just glad the guy's okay.
Yeah, see, I've seen a Juggernaut, not a cool Deadpool 2 Juggernaut, but I have seen a Apocalypse that was pretty cool, like animated series Apocalypse.
Ooh.
Yeah, big too, it was huge.
Nice. Another cosplay was Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I've seen a few Batman Beyonds in my time, but not a whole lot. But I've seen I saw one last year. Different. It's not that one, but it's cool.
Yeah, I got the guy who did here was actually pretty good. Got a pretty good costume of Batman Beyond.
I've always dreamed to be a Batman Beyond for Halloween, but the mask is always the tricky part.
Yeah, I think he pulled up pretty well. Kind of looks like the one from the Arkham games.
Yeah, that's really the only way you can realize it and have it look good. Unfortunately.
Yep. Unfortunately. Another cool cosplay. A lot of the cosplay was actually on the second day. It's like Samurai Darth
Was there
Vader.
a costume contest?
There were costume contests, but I didn't go to any of them.
I'm saying that'd probably be what usually the costume contest is on Saturday.
Yep, Samurai Darth Vader.
Yep.
You can see him in between the Wolverines and the Demon Oogie Boogie.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of the Samurai Vader?
Well, it's reminiscent of the Animatrix inspired Star Wars series that was on Disney Plus recently.
Visions.
Visions, yes.
In the upper left hand corner, you can see a trio of bounty hunters.
Yep.
So basically, the second day did end up being. Ended like half shopping as well, getting merchandise, going around checking out the cosplay, seeing like some of the other booths, and another interesting one, zombie Iron Men. If you can see in the upper right and the upper right,
I can see it.
there were actually a couple in that picture. There were quite a few zombie Iron Men. It's actually quite surprising, but the costumes were actually really cool. So basically, I also got Ron Perlman's autograph that day too, but that was also for a present. I did get to meet Ron Perlman as well.
Now that is great.
Yes, the autograph was not for me. It was actually for my stepdad.
Well, still, I mean, you met Ron Perlman though.
Oh yeah,
What did you say to him?
Like I said, I loved his work. I mentioned some of the stuff, obviously Hellboy, Sons of Anarchy, like Mr. Lancer, that kind of thing.
Oh, what did he say? What did he say about Mr. Lancer?
He didn't really say much. I think he was getting ready to go to a Q&A.
Oh man, you timing on these panels.
It's like I know. I mean, he did. Funnily enough, the thing is, he didn't have much of a line, so I was trying to capitalize on it.
Yeah,
but he said he appreciated the comments, shook my hand, signed a picture for it. He was very cordial. He was very nice.
If I've read Ron Perlman's book, I would kind of gush about that for a bit too.
Unfortunately, I have not read Ron Perlman's book.
It's good.
What's it called?
Easy Street.
Is it like an autobiography or something?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Like, unfortunately, my interaction with Ron Perlman wasn't very long, but he was one of the ones that I wanted to go see. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything for myself, but I was able to see him. I talked to him about his stuff, and he was very nice. So I know that's not the most exciting thing, but being able to be Ron Perlman's kind of exciting in itself, right?
Yep.
All right. The next day, I didn't actually stay very long, but learning from my mistakes, I actually did keep some cash on me. Fortunately, like I did have some. I withdrew more than what I needed for uh, for Peter Cullen. So I didn't run into the issue again. So the first stop on the next day was Christopher Sabat.
So the pressure must have been on this one. Like, okay, I don't want to miss Sabat this year.
Nope. Like, especially after I told you last year that I didn't get to see him because the long line, and you even called me a lightweight last year.
Yeah, I did.
It's like, well, like I said, Dragon, I had a limited time that time. I didn't have 3 whole days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so I made sure this year to dedicate us to going to see Christopher Sabat. Like he was then, and he's like another one that draws a huge crowd.
Well, of course. I mean, there's like, you know how many animes this guy's been in?
Dozens, if not more.
I mean, alone, look at what he can rest his laurels on. Of course, majorly Vegeta.
Piccolo.
He's 2 beloved characters in one anime already. And then you have like going to Dragon Ball. I mean, if you want to go for like the original thing, you got Yamcha, you got Yajirobe, and more so, verging off Yajirobe. I've been rewatching the anime recently. Yu Yu Hakusho. He's Kuwabara. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, nice.
He's really good. That's a really good role for him.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. He's quite prolific.
Yeah.
So he draws, and as you can imagine, he draws a huge crowd. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait as long to see him as Peter Cullen, and he did take card. So, fortunately, and you can actually see the picture of him basically in the center above the logo.
Yep.
I got him to sign my copy. I got my first volume of My Hero Academia, where he voices one of the main characters, All Might. It's like, I am here, that kind of thing. He actually took the picture himself.
Like, are you satisfied with this camera work?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to complain since he took my phone and took the pictures.
Well, how much did he run you?
It's like, consider I got a personalized quote, a combo, and basically got a combo with a quote, and it cost me 120 for him.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah. But it was worth it to meet, one of the pillars of the anime voice acting community.
Did he do a voice for you?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, "Eat this." It's one of the lines from My Hero Academia.
I would hope so. Otherwise, it'd be like, man, why is he hungry? Like, what?
It's like, Dragon, I think you'd really like My Hero Academia.
I'm tempted to try it out, but I got other animes. I got like for this whole Hunter thing. I might have to get into for. I don't know.
Well, Dragon, if you get to, are you subscribed to Crunchyroll by the way?
No, well, yeah, I was false advertised with Crunchyroll, but I'm not.
I mean,
no.
It's now merged. All the Funimation stuff merged into it.
I know. I'm just saying. It's like it says like, hey, like, there's like a large selection of things that are free, and no, there aren't any free things on Crunchyroll.
There's actually a bit of free stuff on their YouTube page.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly think you would like this show, but where was I going with this?
Okay, well, we were talking about you bridged into My Hero Academia for a moment.
It's like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, I honestly think you would. And what I was saying was, like, a lot of the stuff that Crunchyroll has is also on Hulu if you're subscribed to Hulu.
Yes, but the annoying thing about Hulu is the full series is not on there.
It's like, it isn't?
Well, at least for the ones that interest, like Yu Yu Hakusho, sadly, only has the first 2 seasons. Only has half of the anime is there.
I've no. It's so they're not even like just splitting it into episodes. They don't have the entire series.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally, like Yu Yu Hakusho is like I think it's like 112 episodes, and it has 56 episodes on there.
Yeah. Well,
properly dubbed and everything, but again, only half.
like Well, if you do have Hulu, like the entirety of My Hero Academia dubbed is on Hulu.
Mm.
The only reason, and also it's on Disney Plus now because because as I mentioned to you earlier in our chat, I got the beta for Hulu on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really checked it out or anything. I just added a bunch of stuff to my watch list.
Right.
So, but yep, I got him to sign that, and he's like, "Eat this." He did the voice. He was very cool to me. I also met Jeffrey Combs that day too.
Hey.
Yep. Jeffrey Combs was also cash only. But fortunately, I had cash on me.
I know, we've established that. I got you.
Fortunately, I had enough on me to cover what he had. And I got him to sign my Transformers Prime case. And
did he have glossies of the question at his table?
Yes. Both.
Nice.
Like three kinds of it. I think like he had like one with him like fighting Batman, just one of the question himself.
Was there one of Question and Huntress?
I don't think so. I didn't see that.
Dang it.
I didn't. Well, there might have been one there, but I only saw him one with Batman. And just one with the question by himself. And funny enough, we have the same hat.
Yep.
Basically, this day was short. Like I basically
Jeffrey Combs was wearing a hat.
Yeah, he had like you see the hat I'm wearing in the pictures of me.
Yeah.
He was wearing a hat very similar to mine.
Oh.
And I was even like, nice hat. He's like, yeah. He was like, thanks, you too.
For a moment, you got me really excited. I thought he was going to say he was wearing a blue fedora.
Unfortunately, no.
It would have been so much cooler.
It would have been, but unfortunately, we had the same taste in hats.
Yeah.
So it's like the next day, like this day, unfortunately, I cut short. Like as I already accomplished everything that I wanted to do. Like I spent most of the day, the rest of the day shopping afterwards, like and walking around checking out the cosplays. Like
Did you buy a statue?
I bought some statuettes. I even got a couple mystery boxes.
Ah. Wait, were these the mystery boxes in like the Mario the Mario cubes or no?
Well, you mean like ones for specifically labeled or franchises, things like that?
Well, I mean, sometimes they have the mystery boxes that are in like the little like the thing little prize boxes in Mario. You jump and you hit the question mark.
Something like that. They're like stuff they have stuff that you get in there and things like that based on a certain franchise, things like that. Yeah, I got those. I didn't get a Mario one though. So, unfortunately, none of the mystery boxes actually came with a statue. So, other cosplays I met there is like that Oogie Boogie. What do you make of this Oogie Boogie over here? Over on the right.
Okay, the one on the far middle far right.
Yeah, above the mug.
I think he has like a hula lanyard or something on, like a little Hawaiian hospitality.
And it's kind of hard to tell, but it's actually a necklace of dice.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't he looks too like fit.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like go for like a Japanese demon, the Japanese like Oni kind of Oogie Boogie.
That tracks.
And it was actually really cool. I met a couple Instagram cosplayers, like one who actually remembered me from the convention in July.
You're the guy in the hat.
Like he actually recognized she actually recognized my Perry shirt.
Ah.
It's like her name is Jean 11. That's her name. It's like she's a mom. She's a famous she's an internet famous cosplayer. And like I was walking around Animate in July, and she actually pulled her curtain from behind her to say, "I love your Perry shirt," like from across the aisle to me. Like she actually, like you have these people in these amazing costumes. She herself wearing these character accurate costumes, and she calls out to me saying, "I love your Perry the Platypus shirt." It meant a lot to me, as you can imagine. Dragon,
Yeah.
what, I just wondering if you have anything to say about that.
I mean, not particularly, but the cosplay and stuff. No.
All right. It's like so basically the rest of the day was walking around getting that like I had like there's a little statue of the child that Grogu on the ground that walked around and things like that. There were like people dressed in like one that I actually saw last year was like a move like an R2D2 that was walking around. Then as I said, walked around, got some merchandise, got collected a couple of statues for my shelf. And basically, I cut the day short around like 1 o'clock. Basically, because I was realizing that I was losing more money than I had budgeted.
It's like Vegas.
Know your limit, play within it, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately, I didn't do that. And thus, that concludes the main event of my GalaxyCon adventure.
Do you think you learned anything?
Take cash.
I was thinking more like life lesson wise, but sure.
Well, that kind of counts as a life lesson.
Fine.
Always keep cash.
All right. Okay. So you learn the material lesson. Okay. I think. Okay.
It's like, I don't know what life lessons I could learn from this.
I don't know. I mean, how do you feel after meeting everyone?
Like I explained how I felt, like especially like meeting Bill Farmer.
Not individual. I mean, collectively from the journey. Jacob, have you learned anything from the journey aside from take cash?
It's like yeah. Honestly, I can't really put it into words. And anything like I just loved it. I just had like a great time meeting all these people that I've come to know their voices and actually put a face to these voices, meet them, tell them how much their work means to me, like how much they've inspired me. Like last year I met James Arnold Taylor. I'm not sure if you recognize his name, but
I'm very familiar with James Arnold Taylor's name. Yes, thank you.
It's like he was actually very impressed by my Obi-Wan voice or my British accent. Yeah, he said I did very good. And like I even mentioned,
He too was a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not just in Spider-Man, I'm saying he was a Spider-Man. He played him once.
In what game?
In Friend or Foe.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
It's a fun switcheroo, actually, because the way it worked is that James Arnold Taylor, and this is probably right after, I don't know if it's, I'd say a year before Spectacular, a year after Spectacular, but essentially what happened is James Arnold Taylor plays Spider-Man, and Josh Keaton plays New Goblin.
Huh.
Like literally the Harry Osborn, it's there was a tie-in with Spider-Man 3. That's why I can't really place it was right before, right after, but yeah.
And Josh Keaton has quite a history of Spider-Man.
That he does.
His friend or foe, he was the Spectacular Spider-Man. Not to mention he was in the Insomniac Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, he's had quite a history of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But so being able to meet all these people, and even like having some like compliment me on my work and the stuff that's and doing like some of that is actually means quite a bit to me. Like being able to. And heck, at Animate earlier this year, I got to meet got the voices of Phineas and the new voice of Ferb. I got to meet Phil Lamar. I got Lauren Tom, like Billy West, who was also cash only, but fortunately he didn't. It was a Friday. He didn't have that much of a line. Yes, Dragon. There was a cash only person last time too, and I still didn't learn my lesson this time.
Nope. When will the boy learn?
Next time, I swear.
Next time, Gadget. Next time.
I didn't meet Dr. Claw.
Yeah, it'd be impressive though. I mean, it does beg the question. I forget if Frank Welker does cons or not, because I know he's very scarcely. He really doesn't do interviews.
Apparently this year he didn't do anything because he broke his leg.
My leg!
That's what somebody told me anyway. Because like now, since I had Optimus Prime signed, I now need to get Megatron. We have like GalaxyCon that animate this year. I met like quite a few other people. Like I said, Phil, like obviously Phineas, Ferb, Lauren, Tom. I got David. I met Greg Sipes this year as well. Unfortunately, when I came here, I didn't get to see him.
I have met Greg Sipes.
He's very laid back. He's and all that. Considering it's kind of funny considering like all like the most of the characters he voices are like extremely loud and very all over the place. Like, he's actually very calm and laid back. And Tara Strong was here this year too, but I didn't get to her in time to get to her either. She was very she was very busy, and she kind of dipped a lot too, from what I heard. So she'll definitely be another one next time as well. So regarding this year or any of the ones last year, Dragon, do you have any more questions regarding my GalaxyCon Odyssey?
Let's see. I mean, okay, if you can think of who's your pie in the sky hopes for next year.
Well, not counting the ones that I'm hoping, not counting the ones that are repeats, like I mentioned here, like obviously Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are going to be ones that I really hope for this year. But like honestly, a lot of the ones that I want to see are already been confirmed for Animate. But if anything, I'd like some of the other voice actors from Crunchyroll. I'd really like to see. Like, let's see, I would love to meet like D. Bradley Baker, for example. I'd love to meet him as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think. Let's see, like Frank Welker, of course. Let's see. As far as like the live action goes, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I'm trying to think of others that I would love to see, but really it's those.
Okay.
Those are the immediate ones that come to mind. Like can you think of stuff that would be good for this? I guess I don't know.
Well, I mean, again, for me, I know it's like the four I want. I already mentioned them again. Like, you know, it's D'Onofrio, it's Charlie Cox, it's Tom Cavanaugh, and it's Greg Griffin.
Even Tom Cavanaugh did not come to this.
Yeah.
I'd let you know if he did, though.
Yeah. Well, why even bother at this point? He's going to tell me, like, hey, guess who's going to be in my neck of the woods? Well, all your hopes and dreams.
Here lies Dragon's hopes and dreams.
Yes, Jacob killed him.
Heck, I wouldn't even go to Tom Cavanaugh anyway myself. Because I've never watched Flash.
Philistine.
Hey, you told me not to. You only told me to watch the stuff on YouTube anyway.
Yes. Which he's in.
I know. That's like I said. That even means I still probably wouldn't go see him anyway.
Well, if you watch the clips, you would.
It's like Dragon. I don't know. I have other priorities besides Flash.
Ah.
Greg Griffin, perhaps too.
Yeah.
I mean, she'd be higher on the list for me than Tom Cavanaugh.
She's like the voice actress.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of them, but yes, yes, she is. I mean, I wish I could have gone to Tara Strong, but unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards.
I have met Tara Strong, and she is lovely.
Yep. Hopefully, she'll be able to come back next year.
Hopefully. I don't know. She gets around, perhaps, you know.
I mean, I think she was here last year, too, so.
Yeah, okay.
Do you plan on bringing money next time, or will you purposely not bring money to troll Dragon? To be honest, Code Geass, if I didn't bring money at that point, I'd be trolling myself.
You would.
It wouldn't be trolling Dragon. Dragon would just be like, right, Dragon? You basically just like groan or like silently glare at me through the camera, through the ether.
I think you know the answer to that.
And you just glare at me through the ether. I wouldn't even be able to see it, but I'd be able to feel it. So it's like, so I wouldn't even be trolling him at that point. I'd be trolling myself. But yes, next time I will bring cash. Cash will probably be my preferred method of payment next time.
Just imagine that gag from Family Guy where Brian is trying to sell his screenplay to Michael Eisner, and he writes Brian. He writes the name on a little hat, puts it on him. It is he says, "See you at Disney. Bring money." So that end part, that's you, my friend. It's you're gonna go with the con, have your Michael Eisner S figure there, just saying, "Bring money."
Yep, that'll be the idea. Bring money.
Bring money.
And speaking of it, and I know this just reminded me. Speaking of which, I'd love to meet Dan and Swampy as well if they ever came to these cons.
Yep.
So it's like if they ever came, I mean, they go to Comic-Con occasionally, or
They
these
should
kinds of.
sell the an action figure and get those signed.
Of course. The funny thing is, he actually came to the University of Athens not too long ago.
Well, the Greeks are hard up for entertainment.
As in the Athens in Ohio.
I know. I'm kidding.
And I wasn't able to drive there to meet him. He was in my state, and I wasn't able to see him.
Easily. I'm sorry. Was this Dan or Swampy?
Dan.
Papa Myers is going, you could have walked.
If I remember, I think it was actually in Athens, but if it is Athens, it is by car an hour and 18 minutes from where I live.
You could have run. I thought my show was your favorite.
It is my favorite. But
it doesn't feel like it, otherwise you'd be here.
Anyway, if they could come to like animate or call anything like that, that would be great.
Less fan, more fake.
It's like I mean, heck, there's already a pretty stacked lineup coming next year, as I've already told well, not next year, but in July, as I already told you. Like Olivia Olson, Rob Pop, heck, Townsend Coleman as well.
Ooh.
Like I said, he's like the Ninja Turtles. But also,
let's face it, the Tick.
Yep, the Tick. Townsend Coleman. He's gonna be there. Monica Bulma's gonna be there as well. So
my Bulma.
Yep, Bulma's gonna be there again. She's not gonna be on my definite list this time since I've got her autograph, but I'm considering it. And of course, Josh Keaton. I'm going to go see him. Unfortunately, I don't have anything for Spectacular Spider-Man, but I'll just get a glossy or something.
You could buy the DVD set, right?
I know, but I don't have the DVD set anyway. I don't know where to find it.
Well, Amazon.
I already have it. I bought the season on Amazon already. And that was before it got on Disney Plus, and then before it was removed from Disney Plus.
Well, no, I mean, you don't want to buy the DVD set from.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Order the DVDs to be shipped to my house from Amazon. I get it.
Well, I mean, when you bought it from, you were able to buy digitally seasons 1 and 2 Spectacular.
Yes.
I'm just saying because there's this weird thing where they kind of released it individually, and then they kind of did like the whole complete series thing. Anyway, so yeah, there's an idea for you.
Yeah, that's potentially it.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't cross my mind, I'll just get a glossy.
Works just as well.
Yep. And I'm honestly considering going for the VIP this time.
You remember the lesson, Jacob.
Yes.
Bring money.
Bring money.
The lesson we learned from Michael Eisner, kids. Bring money.
Yes. Well, do you have any other last minute questions, Dragon? And Code Geass, of course, says bring money. Yes, I got the point. I'll be sure to bring cash next time.
What did Christopher Sabat smell like?
I didn't really smell him.
I know it's a dumb. it's a dumb question.
I know.
Oh, here's a question. Was he wearing a hat when you walked up to him?
Chris Sabat?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Sometimes he wears a hat. That's why I was curious.
He was bald the whole time.
I'm just saying. Sometimes I've seen him pull off both looks, the hat and the no hat. So okay.
As far as I could tell, he wasn't wearing he didn't have a hat.
Did he try? Did he tell you anything about the new Dragon Ball series?
No.
Hmm.
You know that Daima or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that one.
He didn't mention anything about it. Yeah, obviously he had a bunch of Dragon. He had a bunch of Dragon Ball pictures. One of the glossies he had was even Yamcha in the crater,
Oh god, people.
and it even had like a speech bubble above it too, a blank speech bubble where he could like do a quote in.
Yeah, that's I saw the creator of Deadpool last year, Fabian Nicieza. He had these ones that basically he would customize like little sayings he would put into the speech bubbles.
Nice.
It was really cool.
Yeah, there were quite a few comic book writers there that I didn't get to. I didn't actually see any of them because I was already in deep enough as it was.
Yep.
So, I mean, Jim Shooter was there again. I do know that much. Let's see. There was like the guy who created Spider Gwen. What's his name again? Rodriguez. Rodriguez.
Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I know Brian Michael Bendis created Miles Morales, but I'm not.
Yeah, Bendis was not there. Actually, speaking of which, like somebody had an omnibus of Ultimate Spider-Man to have Yuri sign. And Yuri was very familiar with Bendis.
Oh, of course.
Yep. So yeah, the trip was overall fun. I've learned my lesson for next time. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to, depending on the people, I'm not sure if I'm going to go for all 3 days next time, but I might just go for the VIP instead. But I'll see how it goes.
All right.
All right. So thank you, Dragon, for joining me on my Noob's Odyssey. Like, this is basically a lot of it from a noob's perspective. Hopefully next time I won't be so much of a noob.
Hopefully.
Yep. Thank you, Kogias, for the comments, and thank you all for watching. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, and remember, bring money.
Bring money.